going to do this again. We are now on the correct network. Makes a big difference. You like my light? Yeah, that's my panel light. In Taiwan, we have all these really cool lights. This kind of stuff, you know, is really easy to get here, and well, this is the LED capital of the world. I want to say hi to everyone on Periscope and YouTube. Let's try this again. We're now back on the roof. Do that. Yeah, stay that way. It was tilted a little bit. Yeah, I just want to take a look on Periscope, see what it looks like. Hi, Ken Ron, how are you? Nice to see you. All right. We are now on the ivideo.com.tw Wi-Fi network, and it is working just fine. And we want to point out our companion website, TaiwanLive.tv, if you so choose to. David Osaka, how are you, sir? How's everybody? Hey, and I see Matthew on Periscope. Want to say hi? Yeah, all right. Nice to see you, Matthew. There you go. Got our Periscope comments working too. Excellent. Okay, so I am blocking tonight. I am blocking, and I don't know if I'm going to do well, I can do retroactive, but I can also do preemptive blocking. So we're up to 40. It's the funny thing is I had I was on the wrong network, and yeah, I was on for like 1 minute and 45 seconds. I had 970 views. That's how in the world do you have 970 views in 1 minute and 47 seconds when you're an old man sitting on the roof? Is there something amazing behind me? So I want to say hi to everybody. And I'm going to say hi myself, because I want to let everybody know that the comments do go from Periscope to YouTube and back. It's great. It's fantastic. So that's me, Taiwan Live TV, saying hi to everybody. So we are in Taiwan. We are in northwest central, basically, because we're not in Taipei. We're kind of, you know, at a, I don't know, 50-degree angle from the center, I guess. It's Thursday night here, the 25th. No. Why would I be featured? Why would I be featured on Periscope? I can't be featured. That's crazy. No. I'm not featured. I'm just there. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. iOS is such an unresponsive thing. Yeah, so there you go. That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. That's really funny. That was the comment of the night. So, well, could have brought my guitar up here, but it would have been the same, right? Speaking of which, now, I bought a new amp from Japan. It's in customs here in Taiwan. I'm probably going to get it tomorrow. If I don't get it tomorrow, I'll get it on Monday. But I found a Brian May special, the Vox VBM1, which is a recreation of the Deaky amp that he uses in the studio, and it's really something. I can't wait to get it. I'm going to do some demos. So let me just see what's going on. Broadcast details. This is ridiculous. I have 1,209 views on Periscope, and I got 2 on YouTube. You know what I think? I think the YouTube is right. I think I got 4 people watching me. I think I got 2 people on YouTube and 2 people on Periscope. But at least we don't have any trolls, you know? That's the main thing. Oh, this is funny. 61 peak. This is great. Live views. It shows Matthew and Ron, and then it says 45 more viewers. Oh, actually, sorry, I got to do this again. I missed that last comment. What was that? What was that comment? Oh, I missed it. I got to go back and review it. Anyway, sorry, I missed it. I was goofing around. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to turn this off because you know what? I guess I don't care. Periscope can do whatever it wants to do, so yes, I would. Yes, I would. And you've seen it. You've seen it. And with the with that little Brian May amp, it should sound really, really good. I want to do some features because I got the new 32-track digital Porta Studio coming. I'm gonna do a couple features using it because I got a USB interface, you know, and we broadcast in stereo, so it's easy to do. Even right now, I'm broadcasting in stereo on Periscope, even though I'm just using a mobile phone. So with the PC set up, you know, in the studio with the USB interface, it's all in stereo. So yeah, it'd be fun. Fun to do a couple of multi-tracks anyway. But enough about that. This moon, it is absolutely pristine clear here tonight. It is just, and I got my roof lights on over here, and I've got my little panel light in front of me just to kind of get a little bit of a fill in. Kind of makes it interesting with the, you know, the light pattern behind me and the tanks and stuff. But I gotta tell you, it is just. And Mars is out too, although it's kind of gone by the wayside. I can't really see it because it's too bright out here, but the moon is just, and there's an airplane going below it. I wish I had, you know, something I could show it to you, because if I just point the phone at it, you're gonna go, yeah, whatever, it's just a dot. It'd be a shaky dot. I'm on a tripod, I suppose I could, yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. Let me do this. And I'm going to reverse the camera. Those are the buildings across the street. And that's the moon with the buildings. That is the queen of the night, ladies and gentlemen. And I suppose I could center it, but it wouldn't make much difference. We've got a lens flare from the moon. So, and if I zoom in, it won't do anything either except get more pixelated. I kind of like it like that. I'm on my roof, and here's the buildings across the street. Hey Rob, how you doing? With an ad over there across the street. And there's my little that little light that's sticking on the rail. There's another monster building across the street. And see the rail? And these are the lights I got. I rebuilt these about 10 years ago. On the roofs of all the houses here, they've got lights. I've got two. I've got one on the other side too. I'm on the end, so that corner there is a precipice. It just drops off down to my carport. But anyway, what I was saying is it's not actually headed towards Taiwan. It's headed towards Taiwan, but it's not going to hit Taiwan. It's going to turn at the last minute and go up to Japan. So Japan's going to get it again. This is bugging me. This tripod has a setting here. There you go. It's not quite level. Here we go. Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like it's going to hit Taiwan, but it's not. It's it's going to veer at the last second. It's going to go and hit Japan again. That would make 2 years. John Sabot and I were talking about today. That would make 2 years that. Hey, Mike, how you doing? What do I have to do? Do I have to turn Periscope back on to block? Oh, come on. How you doing? Mike's good to see you. Always a pleasure. Yeah, I guess I'm going to turn Periscope back on my iOS device. If you go, if you guys look at Windy, you know, the app windy.com, and you play it forward, what happens is the typhoon's coming in from the Pacific, and it's headed just north of the Philippines, and, you know, in between Philippines and Taiwan, and it looks like it's going to curve up and hit Taiwan, and then it stalls, and it kind of goes back a little bit, then makes a really sharp turn, and then cruises back. It's really weird. Excellent. Good to see you, Mike. Nice to have you on YouTube. Yep, iOS, and it's another light source. Look at that. But anyway, that's the queen of the night. For those of you who joined on Periscope, I'm sorry. There's no show. Whatever you might happen to have thought that the queen of the night was going to be, which in this day and age could be any number of things, but actually we don't have Queen show tonight. Now currently I've got 35 and it says that I've had 2,688, so you know what, I bet all the yes, that was a great scene. And the other thing too, you know this too, Ken, is the famous scene in E.T., right? And they use that in a lot of movie trailers, you know, for the production company. The kid pedaling the bike, you know, through the moon. That's with E.T. That's fantastic. But out of all the people that are viewing on Periscope, I got one dot. That's Matthew. Nobody else I have for a mutual. So might be the Apple TV, maybe. But you know, I'm really not sure about that. I mean, here's the thing. Most of the time, Ron, I get like, yes, it is cool. I get like 30 or 40 Periscope views. And like the last time that I was up on the roof and I had the Queen of the Night title, I got 11,000 views. Now, all I'm going to say is that must really tick off the legitimate Periscope broadcasters like Dave and others who work really, really hard, you know, to do quality content and build up their audience. And I just sit up here and do nothing and get 11,000 views. I know that must tick people off, but especially because I got, you know, iVideo and Taiwan Live TV up here. I'm obviously blatantly, you know, advertising. So what can I say? Scroll for old comments. So anyway, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have everybody here, and I appreciate it very much. So, hello again, Dave. Always a pleasure to have you with us, Dave. Where's the next place you're going to? Now, we know that you're kind of, you know, chained to the desk for the time being. It's not vacation time, but I heard comments are a longer delay on, you mean on, on YouTube, yeah. Well, not much I can do about that. I do have low latency turned on. I'm just not sure what the, you know, what the deal is. Anyway, we had a interesting discussion the other night, though, about lost opportunity and things. And I mean, when I look back on my life, you see, we talked before about incompetence, right? People being incompetent. Now, it's not a word. Okay, well, that's good. Thanks for the update. It's not a word, but I like to use the word incompetent. It's not a real word. It's a word that I just use. It's like comment and commentator. Oh, okay, good. Excellent, excellent. Well, to me, for me, my response is the Periscope comments are almost instantaneous too. It's just the stream is behind when I'm watching it, but if I type something right now, I see it instantly on the other device. So I got to tell you, I cannot complain. I got YouTube and Periscope linked together. It's great, and so I have the you know, the benefit of both. And you know, the Periscope viewers apparently appreciate being able to see the comments on the stream too. Because one thing I like is this. If you're like me, and I know I got junk up here in the top, but I try to keep it out, you know, of the of the main view. But if you're like me, a lot of times those stupid hearts get in the way. But I want to be able to make a comment, or I want to be able to see some other comments or say hi to people and reply, right? So thank you. Thanks, Mike. Thank you. I'm broadcasting at 2500. And that's my data rate, 30 frames a second and 720p to Restream IO, simultaneously going to Periscope. I'm not optimizing for Periscope. I'm choking Periscope, but who cares? It likes it, and it's in stereo. So It's not like Periscope's ever going to complain. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it does. It makes a nice stream. But what I'm saying is, sometimes the hearts get in the way, and I want to turn the comments off on Periscope. Then you don't see anything. Well, the thing that I like about using this setup is if you're one of the ones that want to look and, you know, view a stream, and you don't necessarily want the hearts, and you're not going to say anything, or you can turn it back on if you want to say something, but you're just not interested in the hearts, you can still see the comments because they burn to the stream. I really, really like that. I like that a lot. That makes a lot of sense. All right, getting back to what I was saying before about incompetence. Man, it's really strange, but it's a word that I kind of made up, kind of like commenter. The word is commentator, but people who make comments, you want to call them commenters, right? Well, people who are incompetent, I want to call incompetents, T-A-N-T-S. That's not a word. But I've always said this, that incompetents, okay, if you'll allow me, are the single most employable group of people in the world, because every one of them has a job. How many times have you gone to a place this week and dealt with somebody who's incompetent? Can I see a show of hands? Yeah, everybody's got their hand up. Yeah, can I see some hands? You guys got, yeah. Can I see a show of hands? Everybody who's had to deal with somebody incompetent this week. Okay, now, everybody who's had to deal with somebody this week more than 3 times that's incompetent. Yeah, so anyway. I don't know why that is, but I mean, I've been told before that, yeah, see, there you go. I've been told before that I didn't have the right education, I didn't have the right experience, whatever, you know, I didn't have the right attitude. You know, in America, you can't say you don't have the right looks, but yeah, I've been told that too in a subtle way. The thing is, everybody who's incompetent has got a job. And I don't know how some of these people get jobs. Here's the thing. A long time ago, when Gmail first started, I got a Gmail address that matched my name. Okay? Well, there are a lot of people in this world that have the same name as me in the English-speaking world. Every single week, I get at least one important email from some company or a doctor. I got a death certificate once. I get bank statements. This past week I got a payment statement somebody made, and they use my email like it's theirs. And I had a discussion on Tapatalk, excuse me, on the Elgato. I'm trying to say Discord. Okay, is it? Yeah. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to say is I had a discussion with some guys about you know, people using their emails, and what these other people do, which I've never done, is they mess up their life. Like a guy with the exact same name as mine made a mistake. Mike Waterford is raising his hand. I got you. He made a mistake, and he used my email address for a confirmation for a ferry ride that he needed to take. And it was in the Manhattan area, and he needed the confirmation number. Well, fortunately, he left his phone number. And I have a United States-based voice over IP phone system here in Taiwan, so I just called his number. And I got his voicemail, and I said, "Hi, you don't know me, but I have the same name. You made a mistake, and your confirmation number in your email came to mine, and you need it, and it's this." And the guy called me back and left a voice mail message, you know, on mine, and he was very polite, and he thanked me. And I called him back. We chatted for a second, and he was very, very polite. And I could tell this was a top class kind of guy. And he said, I want to thank you for not jumping down my throat, because I never did that before. You never got an email from me before I made a mistake. And I said, well, clearly, so no big deal. But people on this particular discussion forum were replying to me and saying things like, well, you canceled the ferry, didn't you? And I was like, no. And I had 3 or 4 people come back and say to me, come on, admit it. Admit it. Tell the truth. You canceled it. Well, I tried to explain it before. I said the guy did nothing wrong. He did no evil to me. I don't do evil for evil to people, you know? So, evil for evil. You know, people would quit doing that. The escalation would end. I saw a YouTube video. A guy was trying to get the Brian May guitar sound, and he's from a Spanish-speaking country. I'm not sure which. It doesn't matter. But the point is that I just wrote "not even close," and he called me a douchebag in Spanish. So, what did I do? I replied like a gentleman. And I wanted everybody to see that, hey, you know, I'm not the one. Really, behavior matters, doesn't it? It really does, how you respond to things. So a friend of mine named Daniel, who lives in Taiwan, good friend of mine, I was telling him about all these erroneous emails I'm getting, and he said he never gets any. He can't believe it. So I said, I'll tell you what, in the next couple weeks, I will forward you some of the choicest ones. And I did. And he was shocked. He was flabbergasted. He could not believe that people were sending me that stuff. Hoo-doos! Hoo-doos! How are you? Nice to see you. Oh, always a pleasure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reply to you right here on Periscope. Gosh, this is so cryptic. There you go. Okay, so that was it. Anyway, how the heck? Okay, I guess that's how you do it. So that's how you do it. All right. I'm saying, how the heck do you get the keyboard back down? So anyway, yeah, I know. There you go. There you go. How are you doing? It's been a while, so. Oh, you know what? Hoodoos. It's funny. This is one recent. I'm doing great, thanks. For you, it says one recent. You've got one scope. The solar eclipse 2017 in southern Utah. I'm gonna check that out. I gotta see that. That's gotta be great. And it says, oh come on, chicken and sheep. Fantastic. That's so cool. I gotta see that. So somebody told me I was featured tonight because they thought I had Queen. It's not, but it wasn't. They thought I had Queen on my roof. So far tonight's broadcast, we've got 6,494. So that must tick off a lot of people who are legitimate Periscope broadcasters. I'm not a super broadcaster. You scope what you look like. Oh, I gotta see that. Okay. The mysterious Hoodoo's tea only goes by the letter T. It's kind of like the Matisse whiskey, which nobody knows where the distillery is. It's a secret, and you can look that up on Periscope. Get several emails that belong to others. Yeah. Well, how do you treat that? I mean, I get the stuff like, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Wasn't dark. No, I understand that. I get that part. Yeah. But Scope the animals. Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. UFO LOGE. How to say that? UFO logo. Apparently, you like UFOs. That's cool. Rob, how do you handle that? Sometimes I get stuff like, if you're not the intended recipient, you got to destroy the email and notify the sender. I don't got to do that. You sent this stuff to me in the blind. Don't try to make me obligated for a mistake that you made. But sometimes people send me sensitive stuff. Here's the one that I love the best, and I get a little bit naughty with these. And I'll tell you, because look at my hair. I need a haircut. What am I complaining about? At least I got something to cut. But, you know, for most of my adult life, I was unemployed. And the deal is this. I get so many emails like this. Hi, Matthew. Evidently with somebody named Matthew, whose middle initial is J, and has the same last name as mine. Yeah. And it's like, hi, Matthew, it was nice meeting you today. So, yeah, there you go. That's not bad. But I get like, hi, Matthew, it was nice meeting you today. And it's all about, like, the job interview that they had. And sometimes it contains documents like, welcome to the company, or you know, it's like lining them up for the second interview. And I'll respond by saying, maybe Matthew isn't the guy that you really want in your organization because he doesn't seem to know his own email address. I mean, is that wrong? I mean, seriously. Would you hire somebody that gave you the wrong email address? Can I have a show of hands? No hands. There's not going to be any hands. Yeah, because, you know, who would? I mean, seriously. Wow, we're at 7,500. This is going to be another 11,000 broadcast. And I haven't done anything. This is crazy. And we're up to the magic number on YouTube. 8 viewers. Yeah. I am, because a lot of times it has documents and so forth in it, you know, that belong to certain companies. And no, because they're not asking me to input anything. Phishing only works if they are soliciting information from you, right? And so there's never anything for me to reply to. It's just a thank you. Hey, nice to meet you. I got one just the other day. It wasn't an employment thing, but, you know, evidently somebody met somebody else and had a business conversation, you know, so. Right. Because you can't reply and tell them. Those get me too. The ones that send in the blind, and the ones that don't allow you to unsubscribe unless you log in. And you don't know what the login credentials are, so the only thing you can do is say, I forgot my email address, and go through all that jazz. I mean, I forgot my password, and, you know, go through all that jazz, so. Cool. Excellent. Driftless dreaming, I like that. Okay. I'm going to sit back here. Since you're watching on the big screen, because I know I'm scary in 720p up close. At least is what they tell me. That's what my wife tells me. You're scary up close. So seriously. Rob just hit the nail on the head with the unmonitored address, because you can't go back. You know, you can't like respond to it because it goes in the black hole. So what do? Yes. And the only thing you can do is mark it as spam and send it to the bin. One of the things that I was reading about in this thread about other people's emails is that this guy had been getting emails from this young girl for this young girl for years, and finally an email came in that had her phone number, and he I'm gonna block you because you are a bot. Yeah, tonight's first block. All right. I wish the block I really wish the block notifications went here. I really do. And he called the girl, and she acted like it was his problem, and she's like, "I'm gonna block you." He's like, "No, you don't understand," you know. And she acted like it was no big deal for her to have inconvenienced him and filled his email, you know, inbox with her junk just because she doesn't know her own email address. I mean, that's just stupid. But I'll tell you another thing that I think. Thanks, Kenrod. You take care. Oh, going to Austin? Okay, take care now. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, that inconvenienced him, and she just acted like, you know, it was his fault. So anyway, whatever I was just gonna say just fell out of my head. Matthew, you're on Periscope and YouTube. All right. Periscope has been looking pretty good lately, I have to admit. I don't really watch my replays that much. I look at them, you know, to see, like, what did I goof up or something, you know. It says, welcome OLOEZTU on their first day on Periscope. Okay. Let me give you a word of advice. If you want someone to welcome you, you should probably use a username that people can say. It's just a thing, but yeah. Sometimes you have to identify people by this long number string or something, so I don't, you know, I don't even remember what that was. Let me see. Broadcast details. Nope. I got three. Oh, R. Morgan. Wait a minute. User not provided a profile description. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's all right. At least it's not a bot. This is great. It shows 4 viewers and it's 71 more. So it wasn't like the old days where you could look through and get 20 or 25 viewers and say, hey, so-and-so's on. But anyway. So what are you guys up to tonight? We have a beautiful moon. Gosh, it's right overhead. Oh, when I was a kid, my next door neighbor, Billy Young, I was 16 years old when he was killed at 22. And that's a big age range when you're a young kid. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. That may not be Periscope's fault. That just may be the way Restream is hitting it. You know, who knows? But when I was a little kid in elementary school, Billy Young lived next door to me, and he had a telescope, and he got me into astronomy, and it was amazing. I had my father bought me a telescope when I was 12. My father was a Honeywell engineer, and in those days, Honeywell and Asahi Pentax had some kind of cooperation. All of my dad's Honeywell friends had Pentax cameras. It was amazing. And those guys got me into photography. Some of the guys that were friends with my dad donated a bunch of old darkroom equipment. When I was 17 years old in high school, I had a darkroom. They taught me how to develop black and white film, and that's what I was doing back then, and printing prints. I took a photography course in the 11th grade in my high school, and I developed probably 3/4 of the yearbook that year. It was amazing. I got a lot of experience doing that. But my dad bought me a telescope when I was 12, and I had it up until the time I moved to Taiwan. Because when I moved to Taiwan, I put everything in a storage you know, what do you call those things? A storage unit in the United States, and I had some logistic problems and I missed some payments. I had been paying for 5 years in that storage place, And when I left, I told the guy to cut me some slack. There might be some logistic problems, and I found out that before I could catch up, they'd sold everything. And they never notified me. They had my fax number, they had my email, they had my phone. I should have sued them. I should have sued them for every penny that I paid over the 5 years. It was 99 bucks a month. Do the math. Oh yes, the telescope that my dad bought me is gone. Long gone. The gold watch that my mom gave me that belonged to her dad, my grandfather. Yeah. But you know, you can't take it with you. Yes, it does. But you can't take it with you anyway. I try not to get too attached to things. I get attached to people. Went down and saw my wife's uncle this weekend. He's 90 years old. He's laying in the bed. He's dying. His brother was feeding him. The dignity of that gentleman, as he was concerned about the fact that we were in Kaohsiung, a 4-hour drive away. Did we come there just to see him? I had a mask on and my glasses, and I had tears running down my face. I couldn't get out of there. I mean, I had to get out of there. I couldn't stay there. I get attached to people. I don't get attached to things. That may be some good advice for you guys. You can't take it with you. And if you know you're going and somebody else would get pleasure in it, pass it on. Oh, Billy Young, right? I used to borrow his mask and his snorkel and his fins. Because I was a little kid. He was a guy. He was like he's in high school. He was shaving, and I was in elementary school. And I want to go to the beach, and I asked him, and he said just borrow it any time. And so after he died, his parents came over one day and brought me his mask and snorkel and his fins. And it was a moment. It was a moment. You know, when you get older, you never know what's going to get you. Yes, it was nice. It really was. But it broke me down. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I lost it. But when you get older, you never know what's going to grab you, what's going to get you, from your past. And Rob, you know what I'm talking about. And Rob, I consider to be a dear friend of mine. The thing is, let me tell you about Billy Young, okay? There's always somebody in your life that you love so much. And I'm not talking about in an erotic way or a romantic way. I'm just talking about love. The kind of love that you have. See, I told you. The kind of love that you have for a fellow person. Regardless of their gender, doesn't matter. That doesn't enter into the equation. This is just love, right? And I had such love for Billy Young, and his parents asked me to be a pallbearer at his funeral, and I just, I got through it. I was 16 years old. It was one of the hardest things I ever did. I'm not afraid to show my emotions, and I've cried on stream before. I don't care. But Billy was killed by a drunk driver who got on the wrong side of a bridge crossing St. Petersburg to Tampa, the Howard Franklin Bridge. And once you do that, you can't change lanes. And I remember some of the neighbors talking about what the state trooper said, that according to the tire marks on the road, he did everything he could do to avoid this drunk guy, but the drunk guy hit him head on. And by the time the cops got there, somebody had taken off their jacket and covered him up, and he was dead. And so, I don't know what happened, but I was driving my family. This happened about 1.5 years ago. I was driving my family. My wife is in the back with Phoenix. And somebody was driving here in Taiwan on the wrong side of the road on a divided highway. And I told Phoenix and my wife, I said, that is the most dangerous thing in the world because people get killed. My best friend when I was a kid, Billy Young, got killed like that. And the faucet turned on. I had to pull over. My wife said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it overcame me. The emotions just came out. I cried for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, which is an eternity for a tough guy, okay? And my daughter's like, you know, "Are you okay, Papa?" I said, "Yes, but I want to tell you about Billy Young." And I did tell her about Billy Young. And the good thing is, I passed his legacy on because my daughter loves astronomy too. Morning. Hi, Nancy. This is my sister. And I'm talking about Billy Young. And you know Billy Young. Yeah. Nancy, you're going to have to go back and watch the replay. Yeah. Thank you, Rob. But I got to tell you, it was tough. But my daughter loves astronomy too because Billy Young put that out there and for me when I was a kid and showed me and taught me about it. And so I have a small telescope in Taiwan, and I've already talked to Mommy and I talked to Phoenix. It's a full moon, which is a terrible time to try to view the moon. Yes, the timing is perfect, isn't it? Always nice to see you. Thank you, Nancy. Later on, when I go back and edit the video comments later, I will make you a moderator, okay? You're not a moderator now, but everybody wonders why my sister doesn't have a little icon. So yeah, so Billy Young is the one that got me into astronomy, and I've got this little yeah, it really is. I have an app that tells us when the iridium flares are coming. Yep, that's right, exactly. Iridium flares, predicts iridium flares. My kid loves iridium flares, and just a couple of days ago, the moon was 2.2 degrees in conjunction with Mars, and I brought her outside and I showed her. Whenever these little things happen, I always show her, and she loves it, you know. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the queen of the night, and there it is, the full moon. And as I was saying, a full moon is terrible for trying to view it because there's no contrast. It's like a light that's, directly overhead, right? So as soon as we get probably maybe the last quarter, I do have a telescope that I'm going to show. I'm going to show my daughter the moon. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? We're talking about that earlier, right? On Periscope. I got 11,000 views. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here talking. Just an old man talking. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So I'm going to move this down a little bit more. But yeah, isn't that wild? So what can I tell you? All right. So tonight's... Oh yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. And T, if you don't mind, if I may call you T, got any good Dutch oven recipe? Sorry, I'm laughing. I can't even say it. I'm laughing. Got any Dutch oven recipes? I mean, I know that's a stereotype, and I hate stereotyping, but yeah, you're from Utah, so you got any Dutch oven recipes? That would be great. You can send them to late night at MJ Klein. Yes, fantastic, fantastic. My daughter loves those. We had a minus 8.5 2 weeks ago, and I picked her up and I held her and I said, here it goes, ready? And the app goes beep, 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 beep. It goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on beeps. And of course, you know, if it's a really bright flare, you can see the satellite coming, and you see, you know, like the antenna's getting ready to reflect it, and then all of a sudden, like, whoa, then it's really bright, then it goes away. That's fantastic for a kid. Kids love that stuff. It's crazy. And I never knew what kids loved before until I had one. It's amazing. Hey, Coco. Coco, you're so right. Actually, I had it in the back of my mind to mention you. I haven't seen you for a while, and I haven't seen Eric either. Haven't seen you or Eric. But how are you doing? And I was talking about you with somebody the other day in about North Carolina. I had 109 peak and 10,000. I got 10,000 viewers on Periscope. Go figure. We are simultaneously broadcasting on Periscope and YouTube. And tonight's broadcast is brought to you by ivideo.com.tw. They provide my internet mobile services, and we are connected via the mobile network. I got 2 devices connected because it is a very convenient Wi-Fi box. So in the YouTube description of this broadcast, you know, go to the pull down and you'll find a URL and a 10% off code every time you use it. And even if you live in the country where you want to use it, often their prices are cheaper than the local providers. Here in Taiwan, it is ridiculously cheap. You come to Taiwan and you get a Wi-Fi box, it's like 50 cents a day or something. Now, the other interesting thing about ivideo.com.tw is that they will match whatever the price is of their competitors. So if you pay a certain price for their products and somebody comes out with a cheaper price, show them the ad, get your money back. So there you go. And the code in the description is good every single time you use the service, not just the first time. All right. That's the closest to a break that I can take. I can call you T. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good to me. And you can call me anything you want, except there's 2 things. There's 2 things. Now notice I don't do 2 things. I've been in Asia a long time. So no. Go to, okay. Well, I'm glad that you came back, T. Now, Matthew, go to, listen, if you need me to talk to them, we'll intervene, but that's ridiculous. Just get a Wi-Fi box. There's 2 things that I can't stand that people call me, okay? Early in the morning and late for dinner. Cue the drums. Okay, and we'll be right back after this. Time for a sip. All right. Guys, heard any good jokes lately? A couple of expat friends of mine are visiting Taiwan. It's been a while since we did this. Probably about 2 years. Down at Win-Win's, we're talking about a joke that Taiwanese tell. Now, every country has their, what we call in Chinese, their souyu, the sign language, right? Like, I know I think it's Italy, like this means, you know, you're going to jail, right? Things like that. In some countries, this is okay. Other countries, you can't do that. There was a video that came out recently of a kid in China who was doing a math problem, and the problem was 1 + 2 equals, and he had the chalk, and he's looking at the problem, and he can't figure out what 1 + 2 equals. So he looks over there at his friend, and his friend goes like this. Okay, and he writes it, and then he moves out of the way, and the camera sees that he wrote okay. 3, right? Some people will go like this. And depending on what country you're in, this either means okay or 3. I don't know. I knew a guy that kept going like this to order a beer, and he would get 2 beers. He said, wow, this is great. So he kept drinking them, but eventually he asked the waiter, how come when I say 1, you bring me 2 beers? He goes, no, no, no. This is 1. When you do this, it means 2. And then he said, okay, well, no, never mind. I'm not going to do that. So anyway, there's a joke in Taiwan, because in the normal, everyday, you know, there's different little hand languages that people do, right? But one of the main ones is this guy here. This means 6. So if you're saying 6, you know, liu in Chinese, liuge, 6. So a guy went to a rice box place, and he said, how much is a rice box? And she said, 60 60 NTs, or 60, you know, it's funny, kwai means lump, like silver, but it means dollars. 60. And he said, okay, so how much does it cost to add a chicken leg? And she said, 30. Okay, so the rice box is 60, right? And the chicken leg is 30. Okay, so he gives her a 50. And she says, no, 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 you're short. He goes, no, it's 50. She goes, no, 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 you're short. And he goes, wait a minute, you said the rice box was 60. Yeah. And the chicken leg was 30, right? Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I gave you 50. Cue the drum section. When I do a stream from the studio, it's a lot easier. I can go, so there you go. So that's it. Anyway. All right. So I heard a joke the other day. Now, before I tell it, it's a religious joke. Do you guys mind religious jokes? Because if you do, I'm not going to tell it. But if I get the okay, I'm going to tell it. I added it to my repertoire. Okay. I'm going to block you because you are a bot. All right. Husband and wife, they're visiting the Holy Land. Maybe I shouldn't tell it. Maybe I should not. Maybe I shouldn't tell this joke. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to tell the short version. So, unfortunately, while they're visiting the Holy Land, the wife takes ill and she passes away. So, they're at the funeral home, and the funeral director asks him, well, would you like us to bury her here, or do you want to take her back home, or what do you want to do? And he says, I want to cremate her here right now. And he says, are you absolutely certain? Because this is a huge decision. You absolutely sure you want to cremate her like now here? He says, yeah, absolutely, no question about it. And he says, well, excuse me, sir, but I mean, I don't mean to be callous, but it seems like you didn't really think about it that much. Yeah, happy joke, yeah. You didn't really put much thought into it. He said, no, see, you don't understand. The last time a guy died here and you buried him, he came back in 3 days. I don't want her coming back. I'm afraid to look at the comments. I'm afraid to look at the comments. Okay, good. Never know how that's going to go over, right? Okay, good. Whew. Okay, so good. Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Has some application, apparently. All right, so gosh, thanks, Rob. Thanks so much for joining. You take care. We'll see you now, okay? Fist bump to you. Take care. Thank you. Sleds Dulip. Hard to say your name. Welcome. I'm down to 14 viewing. I guess everybody kind of got the message, you know. There's nothing going on here, but I got 11. I made it to 11,000. Ah! Made it to 11,000. 11,022. This is crazy. So this is DIULP sleds. Now, if I look at this, this is a bot. See, this is a bot. See, yeah, it's a bot. But the thing is, right, is I'm getting hearts. Yeah, congrats. Yeah, thanks so much. I'm getting hearts. It's amazing. Excuse me. This is the sophistication of the new bots. They are actually giving hearts in broadcast. So, you know, you think they're real, but they're not. Now, here's one thing that I need to know. I'm not sure how to tell. There's one thing that Streamlabs does not do, and I need to ask them to implement it, and that is a clock. So I know how long I've been yakking. Seriously. I miss broadcast. I miss broadcast very, very, very much. And I'm working with a group who at some point may actually try to go and resurrect broadcast, you know, after being dormant for a little bit over a year. Anyway, Matthew's back on Periscope. I want to thank you for joining again. We're down to 13 viewers, so I think that means that we have lost our advantage for this evening. I want to thank everyone for joining. Thanks so much, and I'm going to call it quits. The moon is almost overhead. I'm going to turn out the lights. I'm going to sit here and look at the moon and just gawk at it because it's incredible. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. And I'm going to be doing some broadcasts from the studio. I'm reconfiguring the studio for a new audio recording system, and I've completely rearranged it, and I'm having a bunch of new woodwork and stuff being fabricated, but it's going to be fantastic. And as soon as the studio is ready to go, we're going to be broadcasting live, and I'm going to show you some. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing's changed here, so I have to see if it started again. If it started again, then I'm going to end it. But it looks like on Periscope, it looks like it's the same one. Nope, Periscope did not restart, so that's good. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining. And let me do this, because Periscope always takes the last frame for thumbnail. So this is it. Bye-bye.